The smell of lavender furniture polish always meant one thing. Mom was hosting. I stand in the foyer of the house I spent 10 years paying for, smoothing out my dress. Every crystal vase, every silk curtain, and every custom-built shelf in this Victorian estate was bought with my overtime pay. My mother, Eleanor, floats through the living room like a queen in a kingdom she didn't build. She's laughing at something my brother, Leo, just said. Leo, the golden boy, who hasn't held a job for more than 3 months in his entire 30 years of life. Maya, darling, don't just stand there. Mom calls out, her voice sweet as poison honey. Come pour the wine. Leo is telling us about his new investment strategy. I smile, though my jaw aches from the effort. I've played this role for a decade. The dutiful daughter, the provider, the one who stayed behind to care for Mom after Dad passed. While Leo traveled the world on soul-searching trips funded by my savings. I trusted them. I truly believed that my sacrifices were seen and appreciated. Dad's will had been clear. The house and the family trust were to be managed by me to ensure Mom was taken care of until the end. It was a heavy burden, but I carried it with pride. It's a revolutionary tech startup. Maya, Leo says, leaning back in a leather armchair I bought him for his birthday. I just need a little liquid capital to get the ball rolling. Mom thinks it's a brilliant move. I feel a cold shiver down my spine. Liquid capital. Leo. The trust is for Mom's health care and the property taxes. It's not a venture capital fund. Mom's face hardens instantly. The mask of the gentle matriarch slips, revealing the cold woman underneath. Don't be so dramatic, Maya. It's family money. And Leo is part of this family, isn't he? I look around the room at the life I've built for them. I felt invisible in my own home. My contributions were treated like a subscription service they forgot they were paying for. I'm going to the kitchen to check on dinner, I mutter, turning away. As I walk down the hallway, I hear them whispering. I catch the words lawyer and signatures. My heart thumps against my ribs. I tell myself I'm being paranoid. They love me. They wouldn't hurt me. That was the moment everything changed. I didn't know it yet, but the foundation of my life wasn't made of stone. It was made of sand, and the tide was coming in. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in my office at the marketing firm when my phone buzzes. It's a notification from the bank. An alert for a massive withdrawal from the primary trust account. The room spins. $450,000. Gone. I call the bank, my hands shaking so hard I nearly dropped the phone. There's been a mistake, I tell the manager. I'm the sole executor. I didn't authorize a transfer to Leo Vance. The manager's voice is apologetic, but firm. Ms. Vance, we have a notarized amendment to the trust. It was filed 3 days ago. Your mother, as the primary beneficiary, exercised her right to appoint a co-executor. She named Leo. He authorized the transfer this morning. I can't breathe. I drive home like a woman possessed, my tires screeching into the driveway of the house I love. I burst through the front doors. Mom, Leo, I scream. They're in the dining room, looking over brochures for luxury cars. Leo doesn't even have the decency to look guilty. He looks smug. Maya, you're home early, Mom says, sipping her tea. I assume you saw the news. It's for the best, really. You've been so stressed managing the money. Now Leo can take the lead. The lead. I choke out. That was my inheritance. Mom, Dad left that money for the family's future. And I've been the one growing it. Leo will blow through that in 6 months. Leo stands up, his shadow looming over the table. Actually, Maya, it's not just the cash. Mom realized that since I'm the one who will carry on the Vance name, I should be the one to hold the title to the estate as well. We signed the deed transfer this morning. The world goes silent. The house I've spent $200,000 renovating. The house where I've paid every utility bill, every tax hike, and every repair for 10 years. You gave him the house. I whisper. The house I bought from Dad's estate to keep you from losing it when he died. It's his birthright. Mom says coldly. A daughter marries and leaves. A son stays. You have a good job, Maya. You don't need this house like Leo does. He needs a base of operations for his business. They thought I wouldn't fight back. They looked at me and saw a bank account, not a person. They saw a safety net they could cut whenever they felt like flying. You have 30 days to move your things into the guest wing, Leo says, tapping his phone. I'm turning your master suite into my home office. It has the best light for my Zoom calls. I look at my mother. She won't meet my eyes. She just adjusts her pearls, the ones I bought her for Christmas. I don't scream. I don't cry. A strange, icy calm settles over me. I realize then that the people standing in front of me aren't my family. They're predators, and I've been feeding them for far too long. I spend the next 3 days in a hotel. I can't bear to be in that house, hearing Leo's loud music or Mom's constant praise of his vision. Every time I close my eyes, I see the documents, the signatures, the betrayal. I go to my lawyer, Sarah, hoping for a miracle. I lay the paperwork out on her desk, my voice cracking as I explain the situation. Sarah, tell me I can reverse this. I've put every cent I have into that property. I have the receipts for the renovations, the taxes, everything. Sarah sighs, looking through the files. Her expression is grim. Maya, because you put the house in a life estate for your mother 10 years ago to protect her. She had the legal standing to influence the deed. And since Leo convinced her to sign those amendments, legally on paper, it looks like a gift. A gift. I let out a jagged laugh. I was robbed. I know, Sarah says softly. But unless we can prove elder abuse or mental incompetence, which your mother clearly isn't, it's an uphill battle. It could take years in court. By then, the money will be gone. I leave her office and wander the park. I feel like a ghost. For a decade, my entire identity was tied to being the good daughter. I built my life around their comfort. I skipped vacations, worked through holidays, and stayed single because I was too busy managing Mom's world. And for what? To be discarded the moment Leo decided he wanted a bigger playground. I call Mom. I want to give her one last chance. Mom, please, just talk to me. We can fix this. Leo can have a portion, but don't take my home. Don't take my future. Maya, stop being so selfish, she snaps. You've always been so obsessed with money. Leo is your brother. Why can't you be happy for him? If you keep this up, you aren't welcome in this family anymore. She hangs up. The rejection hits like a physical blow. I sit on a park bench and finally break. I sob until my chest burns. I've lost my father, my mother, my brother, and my home in the span of a week. I realize I've been living a lie. They didn't love me. They loved what I could do for them. The realization is a bitter pill, but as it dissolves, it leaves behind something else, a cold, hard clarity. If I'm not family anymore, then I don't have to play by family rules. I go back to my hotel room and open my laptop. I start digging through the original purchase documents from 10 years ago. I look at the fine print of the Trust 1 setup. Suddenly, I stop. My heart begins to race. I read the paragraph again, then a third time. Leo and Mom were so greedy to get their hands on the now that they forgot to look at the how. They hadn't checked the underlying structure of the property holding company I created years ago for tax purposes. A slow smile spreads across my face. It isn't a happy smile. It's the smile of a person who has nothing left to lose and everything to gain. I spend the entire night pulling records. My eyes are bloodshot, but I've never felt more awake. When I bought the house from my father's estate, I didn't buy it in my name or Mom's name. I bought it through a private LLC called Aura Holdings. I did this to shield the property from Mom's potential medical creditors. Later, I granted Mom a life estate through the trust, which gave her the right to live there. But the ownership, the actual deed, was held by Aura Holdings. When Leo and Mom transferred the deed, they transferred the beneficial interest in the trust. They thought that gave them the house. But they didn't realize that Aura Holdings has a specific clause in its operating agreement. Clause 7.4. In the event of an unauthorized attempt to encumber or transfer the primary asset by a non-managing member, the managing member, Maya Vance, holds an immediate, irrevocable power of sale to liquidate the asset to protect the capital. In their rush to bypass me, they triggered the very security measure I put in place to protect the house from people exactly like Leo. Because Leo had used the trust money, which was technically an unauthorized withdrawal under the LLC's bylaws, to fund his startup, he had violated the terms of the holding company. I have the power to sell the house. Without their consent, I spend the next day contacting a high-end real estate developer I've worked with in my marketing career. He's been eyeing that plot of land for years. It's a prime location for a boutique luxury condo complex. Maya, it's a beautiful house, he says over the phone. Why now? I'm looking for a clean break, I say, my voice steady. I'll sell it for 15% under market value if we can close in 14 days. Cash. No contingencies. There's a pause on the other end. 14 days? That's aggressive. What about the occupants? The sale will include a vacate on closing clause. I reply, I'll handle the occupants. As I hang up, I feel a pang of guilt. It's the house I grew up in. It's where Dad's height marks are still on the kitchen doorframe. But then I remember Leo's smug face and Mom's cold voice telling me, I'm not welcome. They wanted to play games with my life. They wanted to treat me like an outsider. Fine. I'll be the outsider. I drive past the house one last time. I see Leo's new sports car parked in the driveway, bought with the money he stole from the trust. He's sitting on the porch, feet up, acting like the king of the hill. He has no idea the hill is being sold from under him. I check my email. The developer has sent the initial letter of intent. I sign it digitally within seconds. The clock is ticking. For the next 2 weeks, I have to play the part of the defeated, broken daughter. I need them to stay comfortable. I need them to keep spending that trust money, so they don't suspect a thing until the ink is dry. I return to the house the next day. I walk in with my head down, shoulders slumped. Oh, look who's back. Leo sneers from the living room. Come to pack your bags. I just need a few things. I say softly. Mom, can we talk? Mom is in the kitchen, tasting a wine that costs more than my weekly grocery budget. There's nothing to talk about, Maya, unless you're here to apologize for your outburst. I lie. The words taste like ash, but I force them out. I was shocked, that's all. But I realize now that family is more important than property. I'll move into the guest room this weekend. Mom beams. She loves it when I submit. That's my girl. I knew you'd come around. Leo, isn't that great? Maya is going to help you with the paperwork for your new company. Yeah, whatever, Leo says, as long as she doesn't get in the way. For the next 10 days, I am the perfect servant. I cook dinners. I listen to Leo's idiotic business plans involving cryptocurrency and influencer retreats. I even help Mom organize her jewelry. Inside, I'm counting the hours. I'm also busy behind the scenes. I move my truly personal items, Dad's old watch, my childhood journals, the good silver, to a secure storage unit while they're out celebrating Leo's success. I replace them with cheap lookalikes I find at thrift stores. They're so self-absorbed they don't even notice. On day 12, the developer calls. Everything is cleared, Maya. The wire transfer is scheduled for Friday morning. The eviction notices are prepared for the moment the title clears. Perfect, I say. I feel a strange mix of grief and adrenaline. I am destroying my family's legacy. But they destroyed the family first. The house is just wood and nails. The home was already gone. Friday morning arrives. I wake up early and make a massive breakfast. Leo and Mom are in high spirits. They think they've won. They think they have a house, a fortune, and a maid for a daughter. I have a surprise for you both, I say as I pour their coffee. A celebration of our new family dynamic. About time you showed some spirit. Leo grins. I've arranged a meeting this afternoon. I continue. A final signing to make everything official. The trust amendments. Mom asks. Something like that, I say, checking my watch. The wire transfer notification hits my phone at 10:02 a.m. $1.2 million. My inheritance, the value of the house, and the trust money Leo stole, all recovered, and then some. The money is in an offshore account they can't touch. Now it's time for the show. At 2 p.m., a black SUV pulls into the driveway. Two men in suits step out. One is my lawyer, Sarah. The other is a representative from the development firm. Mom and Leo are waiting in the living room, looking smug. They think these are people here to finalize Leo's ownership. What's this? Mom asks, standing up. Maya, who are these gentlemen? I walk to the center of the room. I don't slouch anymore. I stand tall. I feel a surge of power that I haven't felt in years. Mom. Leo, I'd like you to meet the new owners of 14 Oak Ridge Lane. I say, my voice ringing out clear and cold. The silence that follows is deafening. New owners. Leo laughs nervously. What are you talking about? I own this house. Sarah steps forward and hands him a folder. Actually, Mr. Vance, you owned a beneficial interest in a trust that held no legal title to the property. The property was owned by Aura Holdings, LLC. Due to your unauthorized withdrawal of funds, the managing member exercised the power of sale. Leo's face goes from pale to a sickly shade of purple. He rips the folder open, scanning the documents. This is a lie. Mom, tell them. Mom is shaking. Maya, what have you done? You can't sell my house. It was never your house, Mom, I say, stepping closer. It was Dad's house. Then it was my house. I let you live here out of love. But then you chose to help Leo rob me. You chose him over the person who actually cared for you. We're family. Mom screams, her voice cracking. Family doesn't steal. I retort. Family doesn't make their daughter feel invisible. You wanted Leo to have everything? Well, now he has exactly what he deserves. A pile of stolen cash that's already been flagged for recovery by the LLC's accountants. The developer's representative clears his throat. We have a crew arriving at 8 a.m. tomorrow to begin the interior demolition. You have until then to remove your personal belongings. Anything left on the property after that will be disposed of. Demolition. Mom gasps, clutching her chest. You're tearing it down? It's going to be a luxury condo complex, I say with a shrug. I think the Vance Gardens has a nice ring to it, don't you? Leo lunges at me, his face contorted with rage. You bitch. I'll sue you for every penny. Sarah steps between us. Actually, Leo, we've already filed a countersuit for the $450,000 you embezzled from the trust. Since that money was technically company capital, it's a felony. I suggest you use whatever's left of that money on a very good criminal defense lawyer, not a sports car. The look on Leo's face, the pure, unadulterated shock, is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He looks like a child who realized the stove is hot. Mom sinks into the sofa, sobbing. Where will I go, Maya? How could you do this to your mother? I look at her, and for the first time, I don't feel the need to comfort her. I don't feel the urge to fix her problems. You have the apartment in the city that you kept in your name, I remind her. And Leo is a brilliant businessman, remember? I'm sure he'll take care of you. After all, he's the golden son. I turn to the door. I don't look back at the crystal vases or the silk curtains. I don't look at the height marks on the doorframe. Maya, Mom wails. You can't leave us like this. I'm not leaving you, I say, my hand on the doorknob. You left me a long time ago. I'm just finally moving out. I sit on the balcony of my new apartment overlooking the ocean. It's small, modern, and entirely mine. There is no lavender furniture polish here. No whispering in the hallways. The news has been interesting. Leo was arrested 3 days ago. It turns out his tech startup was actually a glorified Ponzi scheme. And once the trust money was frozen by the court, the whole thing collapsed like a house of cards. He's facing multiple counts of fraud. Mom is living in her small city apartment. She sends me emails every day, sometimes angry, sometimes begging for money. I've set up a filter, so they go straight to a folder I never open. My lawyer handles her monthly allowance, a modest amount from her own Social Security, nothing more. People ask me if I feel guilty. They ask how I could destroy my family. I tell them I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped holding up a structure that was already rotten. The day the old house was demolished, I didn't go to watch. I didn't need to. I spent that afternoon at a spa, getting the tension massaged out of shoulders that had been carrying the weight of 3 people for a decade. I realized that my inheritance wasn't the money or the house. It was the realization that I am enough on my own. I don't need to buy love. I don't need to earn a seat at a table where I'm not respected. I watch the sunset, a glass of wine in my hand. For the first time in my life, I don't have a list of chores to do for someone else. I don't have a crisis to manage. The silence is the most expensive thing I've ever bought, and it was worth every penny. I've started a new business, one that has nothing to do with family names or legacies. I'm meeting new people who like me for who I am, not for what I can provide. The betrayal was a gift. It stripped away the illusions and left me with the truth. I'm no longer the victim. I'm the architect of my own life. Sometimes losing your family is the price of finding yourself.